KY3 News starts now.
Get ready for major delays on Highway 65, the timetable on this latest project, and the detours.
Plus, why Donald Trump Jr. says he met with a Russian lawyer during the campaign, and the reception for the president's plan to work with Russia on cybersecurity.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you enjoyed the weekend, but boy, it's going to be a little toasty for the next several days. 71 right now in town. It's a little warmer in spots. 75 is our hot spot over in Joplin. Otherwise, about 72. That's up in Lamar and in Camden. Now, a few spots: Harrison, Mountain Grove, and Salem. Just a smidge under the 70-degree mark, and it's holding at 70 in West Plains and in Mountain Home. Going to be a hot day, and this is a case where I frankly don't think that Futurecast is quite high enough. Yeah, I know, it's kind of depressing, right? So we're going to warm up a little faster than this. 11 o'clock, 84, that's probably pretty close. The thing I think is a little too cool is that afternoon temp. I'm going to raise that by a few. I think we'll do about 92 in Springfield today. Not quite the hottest of the year so far. We saw that Friday, but we may go a little warmer through midweek. I'll have the full heat wave forecast in just a bit.
All right, starting today, drivers should expect major delays near one of the area's busiest highways.
KDOT is live at Highway 65 with the lane closures and detours. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. Well, this is the first day of a 2-month-long project, and you can see behind me that work is already getting started. That bridge just behind me is Kearney Street, and they are just starting the process of rebuilding the outer 2 lanes of Highway 65. Now, the southbound lanes are first, so 65 southbound will be closed today from Kearney to Division. Drivers coming through town are urged to take I-44, James River Freeway, or city roads to get around this closure. Now, this entire project comes with a price tag of $7.9 million, but the pavement on this stretch of 65 hasn't been replaced in 40 years. So MoDOT engineers say it's much more time efficient and cost efficient to do it this way rather than continually doing patch jobs every 7 years.
It would take us 18 months to do pavement repair on this time. So what we're going to do is come in, do complete replacement, get it knocked out, get it done faster, and it's going to really get done a lot quicker doing this method.
Now, to help with traffic being pushed to some of the surrounding roads due to this closure, MoDOT has put up some temporary stoplights to help with the flow of traffic in this area. They also have a lot of resources online, so if you travel this area very frequently, you're going to want to check those out. They've got this very handy map of all the different closures, what stretches will be closed and when, so you can see exactly which exit ramps and entrance ramps to Highway 65 are going to be closed. They've also got a timeline on there as well, so you can follow the whole project as it starts today until they complete it, hopefully in early September. Live in Springfield, Kate Alt, KY3 News.
All right, thank you, Kate. An overnight accident shut down one lane of Sunshine at Campbell. The lanes are now back open. No injuries to report from the crash, and no word yet on what caused that accident.
Drivers in the Branson and Hollister areas can expect one lane of traffic at bridges on Route 76 and Business 65 starting today. MoDOT is installing new guardrails at Coon Creek, Turkey Creek, and the Missouri and Northern Arkansas Railroad bridges. All 3 of them are located east of Lake Taneycomo. That work should be done by November.
An SUV driver crashed into an animal shelter in Delaware. The crash killed the driver and several animals, too. The female driver crashed through the front of an animal shelter in Newcastle. 33-year-old Latoya Cooper died along with 3 cats from the Animal Cruelty Prevention Center. Workers then transferred nearly 100 other animals to nearby shelters for safety. Police are investigating what caused this crash.
Workers evacuated more than a dozen wolves from a Nevada refuge due to the spreading wildfires out west. The Aspen fire has grown to over 315 acres and is now 10% contained. Workers moved the 15 wolves as flames approached the U.S. Wolf Refuge. Firefighters kept attacking the wildfire by air over the weekend. Today's weather conditions are not expected to improve.
Some Penn State fraternity members are back in court today. The fraternity chapter and 18 members face various charges related to the death of a pledge. The charges include involuntary manslaughter and tampering with evidence. 19-year-old Tim Piazza died after falling down the stairs at a fraternity. It appears to have been a night of heavy drinking. Today's hearing is a continuation of 11 hours of testimony that started last month.
Iraq's prime minister has been celebrating with troops in Mosul after they drove ISIS fighters from some of their last strongholds in the city. Iraq is declaring that ISIS no longer controls the key city. The U.S.-backed coalition supported the nearly 9-month battle to regain control of Mosul. The Iraqi prime minister claims the last ISIS fighters are surrounded.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson made his first official visit to Ukraine over the weekend. Tillerson met with Ukraine's president yesterday. He says Russia must make the first move to bring peace to eastern Ukraine. Tillerson then went to Turkey and met with that country's president. And U.S.-Turkish relations have been tense over Washington's support for the Kurds in Syria.
In Washington today, President Trump's oldest son is explaining why he met with a Russian lawyer during the campaign.
Also, lawmakers are reacting to Trump's idea of teaming up with Russia to fight election hacking.
The Trump team is downplaying a New York Times report about a recently disclosed meeting between the president's son, Don Jr., his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, then campaign chair Paul Manafort, and this Russian lawyer last summer after she promised damaging information on Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Trump Jr. claims she really wanted to talk about a Russian adoption program. He says, quote, her statements were vague, ambiguous, and made no sense. It quickly became clear that she had no meaningful information. The president's legal team adds the president was not aware and did not attend the meeting.
Tremendous meeting yesterday with President Putin.
The president tweets, I strongly pressed President Putin twice about Russian meddling in our election. He vehemently denied it. Now President Trump says he wants to partner with Putin to set up a cybersecurity unit to prevent election hacking.
I am sure that Vladimir Putin could be of enormous assistance in that effort since he's doing the hacking.
It's not the dumbest idea I've ever heard, but it's pretty close.
Overnight, the president responding, the fact that President Putin and I discussed a cybersecurity unit doesn't mean I think it can happen. It can't, but a ceasefire can and did. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Well, the president is referring to a ceasefire in Syria. The last ceasefire there lasted 6 weeks.
Fighting the opioid epidemic across the nation. Just ahead, how a group of librarians is preparing to save lives in Salt Lake City.
Time now 5:07. Brendan tells us about the hottest days of the week and when we'll get the best chance for any storms.
Number 1 in the Ozarks. You're watching KY3 Ozarks Today with Maria Niter, Paul Adler, and Storm Team meteorologist Brandon Beck. The place to be, on air, online, on the go.